Well, ladies and gentlemen, hold on 1 minute. Wardrobe malfunction. I'm into my wardrobe. See, all right. Episode 4. Yeah, I don't must say, I think it should be. Today is another Thursday, and we are going to think about what is going on in our dear country. Now, and then I want us to discuss two things. In Samate, the issue concerning Togwe Afede. I know, yeah, an advisor to the president. Now, call, he served only 4 years, and Nijuma assigned, and the man is Gracia, the 360 or 300 and something thousand Ghana cities, and or returning Sikano, because he thought, according to him, his explanation he said, because the job was more or less a part-time job for him, and he was being paid handsomely every month, and he has a lot of perks. It came with a job, so he thought, I mean, it was fine. And whatever he got from the money was enough. He got for the job was enough. He returned the ex gratia back to the president, and also done it. He talked about to say, "Yeah, come on, Ghana." My phone say, "But then it's back to the government." Now, number two, so Percy discuss the famous National Cathedral. National Cathedral, no, who here at this point in time, and who here at all, who here cry, say the National Cathedral of Ghana. Now, you bet, you know, you're spending that much money on the National Cathedral. Ghana, um, Ghana is not a Christian state. It's not a religious state. Ghana is a secular state. And the Uhiakra say, your national cathedral. And even if you're building one, do you have to spend that much time, that much money? And even if you want to spend that much money on building it, is it the right time to try and build a national cathedral? Into a home common if I begin in there. Now, before we go ahead with that, Patrol Waha. So if you wanna share this for us, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, so just share them for us now. Into us before we return and let's listen to when the Sheikh Akana. Into us Patrol make us say something. I'm aware something now. Via comments. You send the comments. I cry if you can hear me. Let us listen to Wendy Shai. Welcome, Barrister George. As an nice overly. I think last week, but welcome back. Can I discussion on, we want to hear what you think about it. The National Cathedral. Do you think that it's a good thing to be done? And I say, even if it's a good, is that the right time to do it? And the amount of money being spent on it, you know, is that fair? Is that fair? So we are using the national pest on the National Cathedral. And I don't so. So we have the NAS Gracia and says, no. What do you feel about it? We must say he could have just kept quiet and returned the money. We must say it's good he returned the money and make a point out of it so that that discussion can be made into share your views. Let's listen to Ghanaians. What you guys think about it. Okay. Let's listen to it.
Fox speed, roll it. Shake it. Chromaya shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, yeah, then I Beffa, oh, Beffa. Yeah, then I Beffa. Go croco, ya no me sia dia chogeto, and Ramanda, Tuntun de Diet Moto, O'Brien, se misio bia chalato, chale, no be lie, bibia ya, ubia ya wade, laris chale, no be lie, bibia ya, ubia ya wade, Chromaya shit, baby I shit, see can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah, my baby, yeah, then I Beffa, oh, Beffa. Yeah, then I Beffa.
International Cathedral. There's some no initial. I think when it was said the president said this is a personal project that all year for on any Yakupo because when you ever talk about a rally, no, all quite around and soliciting for votes, and make a commitment with Yankopon, the one Yankopon say. So, one or any election now, will be sorry, Diamond.
Living a life on the street, nobody care what we do, nobody care what we go through, nobody care what.
Into our election, I would say Yankopon the soon to me and Papa no Akasemania. They have to do it. I would say, we see sorry, Diamond. And I think that case is clear. I mean, you be a nobleman to build it. So we should Yankopon what they so be so.
What we do? Your brand motivational speakers, won't try and quino. Your parent, you know, be SLY. Yes, I'm here. Someone say, Nanaba. I'm not Betty Coco. Wendy, my break of bed. Mulinke, Mr. John. Yes, see what when the pedals. Yeah. Chale, no be lie. Shit, Bibia, yeah. Shit, Ubia, yeah. Shit, Laris, yeah. Chale, no be lie. Shit, Bibia, yeah. Shit, Ubia, yeah. Shit. Chromaya shit, baby I shit. See can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah, my baby, yeah, then I Beffa, oh, Beffa. Yeah, then I Beffa. Chromaya shit, baby I shit. See can I.
Siseno, as a Sikasema Hiding Kakra. You have to find the money elsewhere. Siseno, I was say, oh, Jessica, if we Ghana government, because then we see we are, and then we are is for the country. So, I mean, who else better to pay for it if not the country?
I lock it, baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, yeah, then I Beffa. Beffa, oh, Beffa. Yeah, then I Beffa.
Savage mix.
Anytime a big reset, major programming I feel that my internet speed will automatically drop. Isn't it amazing? Anytime. Computer is working fine. I've been working all day from home. Never had a problem with my internet. The start to show na internet I'll drop it.
Yeah, then I Beffa. Go croco, ya no me sia dia chogeto, and Ramanda, Tuntun de Diet Moto, O'Brien. Tell it, no be lie. Be a yard, be a yard. Tell it, no be lie. Be a yard, be a yard.
Last week, we friend I said, why are you spreading a falsehood? I don't know, spread over. It wasn't a color. It's actually a message. If you need anything explained that is technical, I will say we need a professional to come on and discuss it. And, if anybody's a professional out here and we are having a discussion, I was not really said the discussion is not being done well. You are so welcome to join into the BIR with the link in the top comment. You can always come in and join us. Such as it.
My shit, baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more. Yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Living a life on the street. Nobody care what we do. Nobody care what we go through. Nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers, won't try and cry no. Your parents, be SLY. Yes, I'm here. Someone say another. I'm not Betty Coco. When the my break up bed. Willing to Mr. John. Yes, you are when the bed is
Patrol or hit this year, Mr. Just like it, share it. It just helps with our algorithm. Emma. Facebook and YouTube and anywhere you're watching it with a social media platform, the more you share and like and love and comments about it, the algorithm actually allow it to spread better. So this is my
tell it, no be lie. Be a yard, be a yard. Tell it, no be lie. Be a yard, be a yard. My shit, baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more. Yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Befa. My shit, baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So yeah, my baby, more. Yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa.
Savage Mix.
Like I said, in a cathedral, if the cathedral na yako El Gracia no wasem kaka na yako akwa. I mean, if you have any other issues that you want to talk about, like I said, no, maybe link in the to, yeah, the link in the to comment in, so you can always join from there. To our bus, if you have something to say, first of all, about what we're talking about today, you can bring it up.
And Ramanda, Tuntunde Diet Moto, O'Brien, say, Monsieur Biachalato, tell it, no be lie, be a yard, be a yard, tell it, no be lie, be a yard, be a yard.
So call Facebook and now walk or spread the money and why just click the share, click the like straight up. And we might check out. Click the like and click the share and now will be also 18 about simple like ABC. I am queen. As I say, I'm no more person share critic. I think this has been shared 14 times today. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right, but your Nipa 8 now, so I want to see 8 lights. Queen. Just like it. It's very, 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 very simple and beautiful. No PBR, just quite click on your money in our Remember, so it helps with the broadcasting of the whole show. So I say, you know, let's start to show me in a minute. Now, before I ever start to show, I'll be on like you knew 7 likes. 7 likes, and twice. All right, so first of all,
baby, I shit. See, can I lock it?
This week now, a black one. Oh yeah, MP. A Bible thing say why expose. Why some investigations about the cathedral. Into your kind and we'll take it from there.
Million 70,103 Ghana cedis and 2 pesos to Sir David Ajayi and Associates. And the state was paid. It's been paid in full. Transaction details, payment of consultancy services on new bids opening and interviewing of contractors rendered on the National Cathedral project. The GIFMIS account code is 2210801. So if you add this 32 million to the 25 million Kenneth Royata letter, we are talking in the region of 57 million Ghana cedis that has been released. Now, a little background is important, Samson. When this project started, it was presented as the president's personal pledge to God that if you help me win this election, I will build a cathedral to say thank you in your honor, to glorify you. Noble pledge. We all make pledges. God help me achieve this milestone. So it was presented as a private initiative. So they set up a private board. That is why it didn't come to Parliament for approval. When government was setting up a public board of trustees for COVID funds to collect, donations from the general public, corporate Ghana, they came to Parliament. We approved it. But this one didn't come to Parliament because we understood that it's private. It's none of our business in terms of public finances. So they will just mobilize all of us as Christians and we will all contribute to the fund. And indeed, on the 27th of August, 2018, I have here from your sister station online, Adum Online, government not using taxpayers' money to build National Cathedral. Immediate past General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Kwabena Opuni Frimpong, says government will not pay for the yet to be built National Cathedral. Speaking on Asempa FM's Ekosi Sen show on Monday, Dr. Opuni Frimpong said President Akufo-Addo would only facilitate the acquisition of land for the project, but would not finance it as being speculated in the public domain. So,
initially,
it's none of our business.
Initially, I'm not going to say, chairman, I shall say, a private president now, no one personal promise, and no, I am in Tonua Bain, I didn't Tonua, so Vivian Cardi Abai Sikabe, 2 ways. Either before Parliament and I'm now also between the Abai Sikabe. But because now a private, no, I contain a private board. Or more discussed because Sikano and yeah, Abai Sikania, they buy into only here Parliament, to contain a private board. So nobody talked about it. Say, or no, nothing. I don't know it's in Cathedral, but no, say, Abai would be provided land there. Because I don't see you on the better Ghana and to be the land. I might with the land by Sikane, no, my DBC or no, Papa.
So this we're all under this impression. Then came 15th November 2018. Yes, I'm right. 15 November 2018. I hold in my hands the budget speech for the 2019 financial statement and budget of the government of Ghana.
That's right.
Ken Ofori-Atta then announces quite a major shift. At paragraph 157, he says, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, the president is determined that the building of the National Cathedral will not put undue financial burdens on the state. He has therefore proposed a partnership between the state and the Ghanaian Christian community, both at home and the diaspora. The formal launch of this national fundraising campaign is slated for December 28, 2018 in Ghana and February 2019 in the United States. So this is the first time we're here in Parliament that, oh, the president has made a new proposal, that it will now be a partnership. So in the debate of the 2019 budget statement, I have here an extra from Dr. Ayeni's debate. Dr. Ayeni, who is the ranking on constitutional and legal, said that it is important that a line item is provided. You can't just say that you are making a proposal and you leave it at that it will be unconstitutional. And that we want to know how much is in that partnership. What does it entail? What percentage? Is it 20%, 30%, 40%? So we will know in line with Article 178 and then grant approval. We didn't get any response. So we had been under the impression that, oh, the proposal for partnership for seed capital from state coffers will be brought to the House later, only to discover these releases.
Wow. In terms of we should be buying any cars for YouTube Father Roma. Mommy, any face for now. Forward the Kakana, we need free son at once. It's basically, we could just to say the way I acquire, the way I start here. Parliament and Misano question will be a Misano here was because now I'll say and a personal project on no Baba Bay. No, so I work with that dream on as I say no, or per se Christian community no, and they are buying. Eh, and that patrol to say no. Oh, Bassa, no, I saw camera, Mamma Kakawai. Mr. Kwanzaa. Mr. Kwanzaa, this was a fusional sign Basu. I said, your device is not connected. That's what it says. If you so quickly, na sign Basu. Nah, I'm meet me. Afawa. Anyway, it's in the same opposite a year. Buying any Christian community in India. I almost say, now did yourself say a personal, it's your personal issue. When I won't walk a shame by my uncle. Now, Banner saying as to say no, a Christian community, and they are buying it all for so the Ghana about the Raw promise our Wakumiki. It's in the end, and Nakofa. No, Castle. I don't know. I buy in Malan. It's no, they are buying their banner. You say, Korea, it's almost 200 million Ghana cedis. Who calculating in dollars, I bet 25 point something million there. I buy at the amount of construction. Year for year, taxes in at the amount of inflation. Sorry, then you already discussed it. And I was it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Asamize nakaye kanapa michia etefuna. Naso ya babio. Chance kwa memedase. Asami ya wabe nakaye kana. Auna akwa promise wonyame. There's win election na ebisi asoro that na exam. And election in win. See, other what promise na ye? What promise be? Na started the elibubu judges and then the bu judges and the bu judges then no what kind of passport office. Na your promise. Ghana for Kibia and say nebubi na but I mean many judges for Ghana. Many judges for school to do wako and then you do wako and many my judges for what you penny na wofi dan na aban wa head dan other my judges kwame em na aban Ghana aban tua e dan wa head other my judges na you check almost about 3 years or 4 years you check out
so na so provide charges no with that.
Yes onumpo yanka wonhwe judges from oyon one day because aban mo one bibi kakra mo the pojo nti wontum wan kahwe because in close judges then said you question into Bubu Poyanshi.
And I was now a buy now no forward you man. I'm out bangalow. The bangalow Buguna then I
my man in the bangalow, so I had the oh I fought for what's the best 1 year or 2 years. I fought for so I did the umpa macalo watch it, maybe a crack now. If you ain't movie, I fought for ya for no koto akasika as one said by yawazi aba America manim enyi asofo so call asofo akohwefo Ghana enye wona aba America we begina akasakasakasa ma America fo so ya wa hade ne na said you walk ko chapel wo bompa yankopon say wa mo niska mozo kofi na start your project if you so about Ghana offices ka as a shame this was what more than for the past 3 years. Come here, then 1-to-1 blog and poem.
Oh, construction there.
Come here, video near what done up and permit, and when you Abazan away, she's a capital was saying Abazan away for the Amazon.
What's that?
In Pakuno, best than it shed the Kawama, a pay, and then it's one crop baby. And this is a Ghana for years a common Kwame necessary for doctors, teachers, prisons. What should they come as one? Our Messicado or Ghana confession as the cash will promise him. I'm Bobby Amans here. Kwame, Obutu ways for America idea. That you buy the Messicado. Our own country America for the Azoka, Nozake.
Set him row crew.
Kwame abam brand or Ghana.
Ghana want to say. Untimi fasika every consolidated fund. It's a Ghana isika nyina yina ya tietia. Untimi fasika from abra ombo aban amani ombo parliament amani parliament ma opan untimi
right.
And now say 2 ways. And now say your oncophobia constitution in the excess. Oh, your Muhajuma beat his judges. So I told you, I'm conform with your Juma. Since I buy bit to the nearest your Musono. Or Mupe. And the police. Police or Mupe and the free direct. And a call. Child crime, you know. Quite barely will be a bit when you scale free.
And so abandon them, Damo Kuni Batawa, Kenufalato, Yiska boom, or the Kashadama source no, or your seed money. More you may him put the seed money. Seed in Nimpono in there, would you have a second would the other one and infra? Kwame. I'm confused to yelly coming. Still, Yenya journalists for Bia, Yenya journalists Bia, or two more Cassa, or church of the and win here, a engineer win here, a professional and win here, a doctor win here, a teacher win here. But I'm going here, Chamazi. What kind of stupid God is this?
Okay. I would say, Mahunio can about it.
What kind of stupid God is this? Yakopono Bain or main answer or main Aguna Yankin. America, what children was the engineers, was the doctors, teachers, what is America? One for so cool, Yami. Na mkata mte America dollar no that God you trust. Ghana national anthem. Aba mpaebo no chen Ghana national anthem. Awo papa etina radio di. Awo as engineer no hu hia nche ekosku ekweka yeden. Bɔnenyi esi boys am simple bi na ɔtwerɛ mo. Esi boys am simple bi na ɔtwerɛ mo na efeli.
I mean, and I was my personal. I think that
Kwame or your personal do me hit ni wa. Do me hit wo Ghana na hu. Because I can know or ya abadam e be generally bi obutu we different abanan nkwaseso abanan ye sebio. Our educating and our teaching my train do you out more up ubefu a different abandon school no one for so by a couple no one for so. And Uncle could be any Bianco heaven. Yamin could be any Bianco heaven. See, I mean, no one for so could be any Bianco heaven. As also they were high Abazi. America develop, yes, a developer church. America Walton and so was it your pub, Walton and so was it Yanzama, was it a hospital? Ghana could say, Abam Paibo, no Basacha the Ghana. So called agro ya Pompey from Yana and Mabudo and Paibo Basacha Ghana and Ghana I fetch in Dubai. Dubai or Batabe. By the Dubai who young, the case of holidays with Dubai, by in the holidays for Choco. In the holidays for Mamobi. A year to car, a busy holidays for London. So called Amapapi to go to car or to plane or busy holidays for London. So London for someone brand the woman now, which I will book to plane a busy holidays for London. I mean, a man and all the say, but all the sudden, generally, it's a phone owner or the one can, no, kai. I couldn't enough into the boat footing. You see, so or different abandon. Yes, yes, or good. Now, a soft no Ghana, so different days. One thing I mean, I saw that. Man, because I'm also the pain, a Roman, I saw the pain, or count
my buckles count, and I'm so surprised.
I'm back now a nephew from where Fufu, a dream you that you when it is. I'm your Kwame. Francis. Other Francis also Tomodo. I mean, that's the imagine when it's my Francis from Mandraco. One maybe I'm from Francis. Because that you're paying in the team. Kwame, can we pay for serious? More Francis from Mandraco, maybe if me purpose, Master purpose, me Francis. Because Chapel from Mom Francis. Chapel no more Francis. Yes, I saw that I come on. I saw them, yes, I come on. Yes, that. Well, when you're missing it, see, I saw that.
I saw it down there. And coming home there, Kenya problem, mommy.
Kwame, in for seeing you, I saw that. So that is it's a big tourism center. And go for boy in the Ghana. If we be able to walk to the Dubai, that might what.
Now was it, mommy, beside them. If you I saw that I will see. Our castle or fire sika, or no walk of penny sika on the scene. If you got no penny sika on the cuisine down Kebe how.
In Town Naniska.
If you not sorry down in a problem. And I'm
on yes or no problem, but we will get this one then, or the Ghana castle or the real.
Okay. Anyway,
already a campaigning, no, tell us some winner, Miss I saw the important man, and Chaman for Batasi. By a campaign and can't be a quick dinner, Baba or Jerusalem, near one patch of a by me, that Baby, you were one patch of Ghana. By one patch of Ghana or Bosom, by two Jerusalem war, a one pair on his honor or Yami. Reality. I mean, Ghana, Baba, no, you won't know one. I won't pay there, ya bosom. Kwame, Pipe Bonankasi is it, Chinankasa. Pipe Buna deceiving in Ghana. Pipe Buna deceiving in Ghana. Even a Ubejina do all Casacasa or quote quotation. The Olacade, a engineer win here, a teacher win here, a mason win here. a farming win here, but Ozizi. Watch express, watch a coat. We said a coat no year and in Pocono, someone done, been to bring down a coat in wire or Zamana. Engineer no, we only in this criminal. So you're good engineer to be obeyed them a screen or Zaba. Sometimes I also want Cassa. Last beginner radio or bomb pay day, or bomb pay here a social media, but Oja social media. So the technology, yeah, that's Cassa. Kwame, import with speed rough because Kwame, you broke Kwame, I swear. He never broke your break. He's the king is the coffee. When you go from, when you could go from, catch the on the Z and to mention the man. Where the buffalo, I'm a buffalo. Eh? What's buffalo? Kwame, I know any and Wahadi. Then you is the coffee. Yenda. Kwame, as the young friend in Rabbit in some way, intimate from many in Ba. Oh, by yellow bread were butcheradi. If you are a crowd butcher, I butcher a day. But yes, Kaying is a coffee. Yes, King is kissing the no fee. No, Buganas can work, no one is saying was the other, and for Subian. Kwame Sheska was saying, Netcham, no damn projecting. No for the damage can was saying, I'm now for yesterday. I'm now in your yesterday. I basically I spend when I end the non crossfoot. Damanyamino on Kukuna. Damanyamino Tassa on Kuna, yet Damanyaminos and the Ibicoson up on Decamo, Okunia, yet Damanyaminos, if you got no good bows, or you be Okunina. In the Damanyamino, I am. No, we risk a position. Wadana, Damayamin, the Wadana. Yamin Wadon, to Sola. One more woman to me, a cassette, Yamin, why? Why don't you make a certain Yamin? Come, I'll be video among the city. Let's see for now and see.
Now, that was it. I'm out for so much. David Abuache can. So initially, including on one board now, as of we are all under the impression, say, on one personal plate and over. And I saw for the whole Ghana Parliament, or be an Ghana, me no cry if you impression, let's say, on one episode of physical.
Right.
On one, sorry, that's the only thing I obey and say, or the Ghana Sassy and a bedding will be so. Because we are over Daniama day, over Daniama Abai.
Right.
Yeah, Bimukaka, so young Chelsea say, I mean, at this point, so Timmy will schedule baby and no bit may release a cabicra. That time, I'm not COVID, that ban is animal, and your man was started animal. I don't know, release a canum, no fine to be a hospital.
Right.
So even before I obey you, you see, Kano crown. Now we had a problem. I was the timing. I will choose you. What's the president today? And who you will tell me? Which means to say, oh, Yensi library, ma, Yensi we ma. Now you can now tell me the year now, so who tell me the near open on the library. Yeah, sorry, I'm out there. So, right. Yeah, I keep on moving camera more small boy. The time for him to make this U-turn, I think that's where the problem. You see, I got a four problems. Say all of a sudden, they are all to say what of our problem. I'll be to tell more than what than a problem.
Right.
Yes, it's a NABCO for into your mocha. Say nurses. Oh, nurse video. Una send them on. Our radio station or Catherine in
David, yes, sure.
If you are Hanson and I will be silenced. We see next be a cotton radio station.
Yeah, me too. By the way,
for about
right.
4 years was then on that. Okaseria on and hours, no matter how manly you think you are, when you have it.
Yeah. My equity benibia.
No, as a minute and me and son of
Equity a small boy, small girl.
No, now at this point in time, no, we see who they hear of and say we see sorry at this time. Now, also now a leader. I mean, this is your sense of direction and timing. Is so poor, say at this point in time. So, and I also be sorry then. The same that my best start so move soon. Say come there, but that time I say small no go tell you and bring crown. And this is exactly what you're trying to do at this point. So try it now. I mean, when I do sit, I want to be reduced. I know what Christopher when I'm very reduced. I love this smart sorry that fair enough. Over fire aside here be judges then be account you the bay. That's fine. Go ahead. I feel all that know what I will say. Since Sicano Crown and soon to know. Why you see come almost 200 million Ghana.
What from one's easy. Mofama offended Diamond School.
That's the canon so I'm rather because I know there and you're PPC and I NDC seeker.
I can't sick
and I know private money. Jenny nice canka because send the mumwa, your mobile terminal. Omo did draw Joma Jomo 1 city. Okota there bank who was savings accounts of bank. That informal taxes, formal taxes, my GNina, who do stick up for port, the guy a better journal. I'm not near a good baby. Also, they are found way 200 million. They are moving. One could be sad. Just say lost now. What's the kind of damn the law. Now, no brother, I can't somebody about to tell sorry. Yeah, can't. I mean, we are saying, yeah, answer. We must have more explanation as to what this is going on. TNT Polar.
Pay attention, it's going to come. But tonight we are going to establish, as we did before in Alamoni Studios, that the National Cathedral will be built as a monument to Elohim so that our country will be saved. Because our country needs salvation. Can't you see? Africa needs salvation. And that salvation is going to come from God. That salvation is not going to come from economics. That salvation is not going to come from statistics. That salvation is not going to come from engineering. That salvation is not going to come from law. The salvation may take the effect of engineering, but the salvation must first of all come from God. The Lord must look upon us with mercy. That's what we need. The Lord must look upon us with mercy. So those of us who have common sense and are on social media and are writing, why is the president giving 25 million and this and that and talking plenty and the cathedral is going to cost you to lose elections? No one will lose elections because he built a cathedral. We will see in this country. We will see it, that no one is going to lose election because he dedicated a prime land for God. Judges were living in that place. Ridge is one of the choicest lands in this country. And they said, take the judges out and put the temple of Jehovah here. That's what Solomon did. Now, because David obeyed and he created a temple through his son Solomon, can you imagine Jerusalem 5,000 years after the fact? They still call Jerusalem the city of David. And the name of David is glorified and glorified and glorified. What did God tell Joshua? He said, I will make you great. I will continue to make you great until you become very great. Tonight, that's what we ask for Ghana. That God will make Ghana great and continue to make Ghana great until we become.
The most painful part, me say, what you have to say, who used to common sense. It makes no sense. It's your only plea to us, me say, let's not use common sense. At this point, my you see again.
Kwame, my uncle, my point there. Yere kere abani bolu selection. Fiasemo okesho. What's abani bolu sene yahwe?
I mean, at that part in the crowd, me say obelu selection. I don't give. I don't care about that.
What about Kwame?
What I care about this man is on TV, national TV, telling people say they shouldn't use common sense. At this point, nobody should apply common sense.
Okay, Christmas trainer. Every no Christmas trainer.
You guys want to lose elections. No one will lose elections because he built a cathedral. We will see in this country. We will see it that no one is going to lose election because he dedicated a prime land for God. Judges were living in that place. Ridge is one of the choicest lands in this country. And they said, take the judges out and put the temple of Jehovah here. That's what Solomon did. Now, because David obeyed and he created a temple through his son Solomon, can you imagine Jerusalem 5,000 years after the fact? They still call Jerusalem the city of David. And the name of David is glorified and glorified and glorified. What did God tell Joshua? He said, I will make you great. I will continue to make you great until you become very great. Tonight, that's what we ask for Ghana. That God will make Ghana great and continue to make Ghana great until we become very great, because we have dedicated our prime to the worship of Elohim in his temple. And we are building the temple with money. And for everyone who contributes to the cathedral, you'll be great. Let's move on to the other scriptures. Now, this is my favorite one, Chronicle. Let's read it. Chronicle.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on.
17, 11, and 15. So I have explained this one. Those of you talk about temples. You don't give it to God. You don't. You give it to somebody, but you are blessed. The Bible says, press down, shaking over, running over, shall I cause men to give unto your bosom. When you go to the church, God is not standing there. In my church, Mr. Sebons is the one who takes the offering. He takes it and he gives me a receipt. That's not God. That's when I do that, I have submitted it to God. When we build a cathedral, that doesn't mean we are going to enclose God over there and they say God is everywhere. He's a spirit. So this, so that, so this. No. We are dedicating our prime to Jehovah as a country, led by our leader who says, I need to do this for Ghana. And 25 million, it can come in multiple forms. The Bible says, press down, shaking over, running over, shall I cause men to give unto your bosom? He made it great. Let's move on with the scripture. And it shall be when your days are fulfilled, when you must go to be with your fathers, that I will set up your seed after you, who will be of your sons, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build me a house, and I will establish his throne forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. And I will not take my mercy away from him. May God not take his mercy away.
So why are we even listening to this nonsense?
That's what I'm saying. It's okay.
Anyway. Amma. You take about this point, I think I'm speechless.
Amma.
Seriously? Micha, greetings to everybody on the platform. Greeting listeners. You know, seriously, he sounded so ignorant ever.
Ah, Jesus.
And for him to feel like I'm really talking, that was a very sad part of it. But then again, though, they are Osankaya. Udibe who say, hey, it's not that stupid. They said, I say, yeah, nobody is losing his election. He mentioned that part emphatically. Said nobody, meaning what some people are saying. Say Ghana's elections are not won by the poll. It's true because they don't say whatever it is they win anyway, right?
Yeah, so
sick, man. Ghana is so sick.
Ah, Jesus.
Anyway, that's my input. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, bye. Now that was it.
Yeah, brother. Mrs. Tama Becha, I'm a Yadasi.
In fact, that's it.
Mr. Minim say uncle school no you, say uncle school no you. I don't know.
Now was it we cry in your school idea. Wait, just the dishonesty in this man. Now David Cassie me say omu yisikani free sa sikana yedema office of the president.
Oh, yeah.
David, constitution talks about how these projects from the office of the president has to be managed. You have to name all the projects that you are going to do with that money. Osha name office of the president project now. From time of now so up to now, there's no mention of a cathedral. It's of a security flow and firm flow a chrono there. That money has been illegally taken. Now, this explanation of Matthew baby that and it was after the fact.
No, was the 4. Yep.
But forgetting said they have not listed it as a project that they are going to, the office of the president is going to tackle. And secondly, you didn't even mention that you're going to use government money. And project now office of the president a government project. So I say, it's all project no cry. So then we see state housing corporation for and take you over. And your private people and take you over. So, but because of car say, I don't know a private project, that is why was like no government agency is looking after this construction. On why to meet on one private board or taking care of this construction. So it's it's an afterthought. How do we explain this? The cabin crown, wiggle room crowd or hockey use in the use office of the president. Or what's national? This is what I think that now. When he tried to raise the money by himself, and I Ghana for chair master, you said Ghana every 10 minutes I'll be driving and you see a house of God, a chapel. 10 minutes drive will be that. Residential area, commercial area, so at this point in time, we don't need so he wasn't getting that much money for project no person. It's and Papa Bikarate, Kweku or a Justice. Also, no, I call different. A good father, I call different. I don't know where this car. What was Shabo? Not Untiminia. I think when he tried to raise the money, I think like deep down he wanted to raise the money by himself because on one he said, I do or the government Sikaya and answered the end. So he was going to raise the money by himself. Now I'm already Sikana and soon project. It's so used to by force at the Sika. It's mobile room and yes, journalist and I understand most professional journalists are more project from beginning to end. Say a cat journalists and I said your more friends, they give us some pushback. I understand that part. But me, Kwame, and I was there, and I said, Barrister George, name, Sister Amma, name, Naraya Brown, name, Semiko, Krumna, make us ask him, we are. There's no force behind me. And you'll be asking a better or more around me now. But if a journalist like Paul Ademoche or syndicated TV show and a radio show, for Mike no kasa because he's a journalist and he's on TV I'm out for fun say no crenoka. Now, Papa Penny older than myself. How about the TV? So I say, I saw that in the movie, you so common sense. And any engineer, beka architect, beka any ubia, beka any professional, beka. And any answer, nibia, beka any years. Now you see that now, that $25 million now. Abaya abaya basically abaya robbing citizens no e dey akwa kushim nyakobo be double sikana mai e dey say no nyakobo ye friend say woman ya
Yankuba, oh yeah,
agrada say nyakobo ya agrada
Yankuba no, yeah, my double no more. Yankuba na kaya jackpot.
So I mean it's very very unfortunate to have characters like this on TV. And I don't think it used to be like this. Because I can remember some long time ago, he was one of the most promising young journalists coming up when we were growing up. So I don't know how he turned into such a, you know, such a muppet, you know. As to say, no, but that TV show, excuse my friend. Over that TV show, and he's just trying to make it make sense. So it's so embarrassing. It's you see that yeah for sorry. Now unyankopon one check the unyankopon na mimi nyankopon. Why should I spend money on your God? Me God now me everyone on Trinidad. He doesn't need a building. Obi God no. SDA new God crying Catholic cry your God are different.
Very different. Now come
SDA new God no. No or poker you are done. Catholic say your pox and you be a crowd so.
Madam.
Yeah, God no, you're okay with it. Today I tell you who work for your God is my God and come me church to come out God. It was one sorry dance here. You and your cronies, any people that are willing to pay money towards it. Kakra bu benya bia mo fancy mo so ne ma sorry. So and I mean David your friend said Ajayi the architect. I mean he's a well-renowned architect. We all love him. The fact still figure on a crown here the far. But for them to thank you for the home bomb and investment ever. So, and I think that this is a very terrible mistake. I mean, yeah, well, Italy, I never want a Vatican. COVID, see every kumo. I mean, St. Peter's Cathedral. The biggest cathedral, the most beautiful cathedral in the world. Honestly. COVID by you come say you know Nkokono. I didn't know say okay Mercy Cathedral one meeting. Me the moment what St. Peter's Pope sin Yankopon to. Na Ghana.
Kwame Paul Francis on tina hitema.
Oh man, I mean this Paul, I've lost all respect for this.
I'm serious. But you see me as on the media nausea. No me Kwame first good evening Ghana, right? And what would say good evening Ghana? Kwame you tell Yarabani it's a good evening Ghana. Yanda. Now the new that ama I do know when it's more. He also Emman Ghana don't yin the airport in a common airport. Common airport has also here. Common over cut of a Christmas tree. The bulls Ghana for. Although different.
I think this our president, President Nana Akufo-Addo, honorable, has a big problem. And his problem, maybe A2. Either he doesn't give an F about Ghana for on fire in your shade. And I say Asam na yet can one say you say it's always lonely at the top. Oh sora nkrofo e wo ho na be kire behavior. Ebi ansem na yet want it. Ebi on te say you see pet cathedral no nkrofo e wo no ka say Ghana fo ni age pa. So we kura 99% cathedral ni si kwan bia to see to when si kura why bone. And in both cases na a fault. Because you have to be now how do you even make this guy a board on a board chairman for Ghana International Airport? How is that even? Oh Jesus. Until we have the men no sample for way. Anyway, I digress. First of all, me mum the actual said the cathedral. I think it's a beautiful edifice. The architect does a wonderful job. I mean, his structures all around the world are renowned. Queen Crown 19, so we are happy that he's, to say their project in Ghana he's involved in. That's nice. But for this cathedral, I think it's the wrong project being done by the wrong person because Akufo-Addo ni suban no enye suban a suban papa bi I say you know associate the Nyankopon Bible. Wrong person, wrong timing. At this time, and Kausika Krana Udisi Krana is wrong at this point in time as the leader of the country. Leaders don't behave like this. Look at Togo Afede. Sika he's entitled to. Yeah, the man at this point in time, that's the canon. And who like he cannot accept it. In morally, it doesn't as a chief. Morally, and then the spirit energy. So he has to give it back. So at this point in time, you have no trade. Wow, crowd judgment say you have no trade. No man could. Inflation is so high. Now I was okay Ghana, so they call Ghana trade. What's the $500? Actually, why 3 days? Nasa. It is out the allow you or Ghana, and I soon near you or Ghana. No, I let you see Bremiska, I let you see Bremiska. And yes, it's Ghana. Only near the Yala, it's Ghana, Diko, and also I'm not to go. Inflation is so high in Ghana, say. No more boy a thing. The last time I went to Ghana, Sunyana Ochata. Now I was a couple of years. Ochata, there you 2 cities. Anywhere, maybe I could be a 2 cities. We drew what to say, no. Ochata, you started free 25 cities. So how the difference within a very short time?
Big difference, very huge.
Huge. Inflation is Ghana. To say no okoto gas, Ghana to say you feel gas. My little brother, or no, I say the gas no. And yes, I sote because I sote they could do half. O to me feel gas in you. Et to be no say 10 cities so 15 cities share bottom or driving by 20 minutes be at of gas. No, your mistake they could do half tanker. Well, he can never get back to full tank again. Now, at this time, every country in the world, try say we are saying or more boa or more citizens by giving them incentives. Ghana say this time no did taxes no more every crop because government appointees, people in government, big men break and say a mom more burden na ye de sort it out. Now would ye e-levy, the COVID tax, the Bola tax, also me the fact you 200 million the sorry. And 200 million Ghana cedis no. And raising 2 blocks crowd.
Depi.
And raising 2 blocks crowd. That means we are going to spend another 200 or 300 million. And so we are, by the time we do snagging, no dear, now you're the number almost 500 million Ghana. Because it keeps rising, depending on who you ask. First time I made it, and I said the whole project is going to cost $100 million.
Yes.
I said that some day we won't go here interview for, I think the man in charge of the construction was a 200 million. Now a good sure yeah yeah for sure.
Paying on that also because also
250. It's like every year be
increase.
Increase by $100 million.
Yep.
It's moves through ferry cry. I sorry, I'm corruption.
Come on, my be saying a couple as a more or more. I mean, or a jackpot.
So I mean, if you have people like
that's coming.
Now,
what's going to know? Carry Mambrado, my link and Mambrado, no Macasane. Molika K will perform with Mambrado. And what is in the yard today?
Oh, no, say, David say, Omuntimi Enfa project in Faho, baby, I'm modify in Police Canada. And you're more returning to Canada because, yeah, they are compromising Yanko Bombia.
My proper, I sent a beach while I proper number more. Because
I mean, David, if you want to come on, I'm inside Enfa
linking into
you now. Anybody who wants to join, I mean, you can come on.
In fact,
David, link in that, but the link can out to it in case you want to come on. Or I think you're on YouTube. If you have to,
you can. YouTube, yeah. Nice, right?
Yeah, it's I mean, well, but I think I mean, me Sunyani Regional Hospital. That hospital was built late. In fact, we are now a late 1990s and I say early 2000s. Beautiful hospital. But because of almost say lack of funds, almost can't. So we say regional hospitals now they run on some national insurance.
Right.
Renovation. For better 20 years, renovation. Can you imagine? Say amenities like toilets anyway now they had it in the 1999, and no one that's what whole.
Is the project sinking?
So the only thing that they can keep a landscape when you're hospital inside now it's so beautiful. But Urama Biase and the corner could smell rust. What you want to say? The beer rust. Oh, that beer rust, yeah, sensible.
Yeah.
And
why?
Almost the hospital is so big, say they are not even allowed to charge money. So I just say, and our health insurance is so and the hospital is so big, say. No amount of money on be raised without government intervention on be to maintain hospital. It's I don't degrade every day. They say no corner account of renovation, and I was who see down for crack.
Jefferson Kwame, I'm in Castle, Mokra Ghana, my wife Kayere. me no ko receipt in shamu sisi a oya me no ko omo mutua hospital bed order do only for the omo mutua another a cow also leave them because mutua ko muhwe na esi ni zi also me nko twa da me yemese ntaba mpɛ na wa twere we also no nko tua ha.
And I was the same, baby. I don't know. Say hospital administrators, ma papa tapa, I need sika. They cannot run the hospital. That's the whole good truth about the whole.
Yeah. It's more like cash and carry.
Yep. And it's unfortunate that it's illegal what you're doing. But when you listen to them, if you get the time, once they be a record, you will because the way the hospitality in the hospital is so bad.
Yeah.
But if you get the time to listen to them, if they don't charge those months, they cannot run the hospital.
You know, I'm sorry to interrupt. Not your hospital be one Nungwaho baby. I'm a friend. I think it was called Nungwa Teaching Hospital or something hospital like that. Almost see bubu almost for friend. They haven't done it, but time and I go so operating. I may say about 7 years ago because my little boy now was 8 at now, but that time now or your baby I think 6 months now. Me didn't call Ghana, and my firstborn no yarinti. If any of will be a penny or baby, that is where they want you to be. Left alone, 37 Military Hospital is where I was born. That's the only hospital I think I would have gone to. And so my auntie back would say, "Oh, I'm here. Fakulana brand, I'm in another because I know so you penny wo ho into media colano koho." The drama unfold is just too long for me to explain. But all I could say is after 2 days for me to take my baby out, necessarily in the Nipa 2 or 3 from the hospital. Because admit to Omo man Uncolano Huatuamo, so as a somutu sicana and son or Marco. And I was like, Mikasa, say, policy, your addition color, and so Uncrofo as a somutiaka. I have to pay about 3. I can't actually remember on that day, no. And I just have to do because now me who you rame.
So you have to pay to for them to be discharged.
Yeah, because they've been discharged. One lady cried, say, "You me pay 3 days in Yensu, me go so aha." But me who yirame because for that 2 days I may imagine me ban home, me auntie a penny or home to make us I got the
VIP treatment,
but I look around me who yirame. The hospital facility, Nankasa Hospital, no building name, no. People on this platform, someone cohort that they will testify to say, you see, toilets were inside the hall, and so you can't you will not breathe. Now maybe say, you need every month. I will payroll so I want for how much says some cleaning her. Now you every month. So you could tell say obi jacket you dikaka onye na juma. And nobody will talk about it. To me, that's what it is. Because any possible hospital, you're running every day, no, you need clean or how on cleaning. But just a be a get in so hospital, washroom, one I will be gone. Like I literally run. I ran out. But maybe Hono is considered the good one, no.
Right.
So me said because me auntie penny or hointy me I have priority to go to baby. I mean if you say a good na me journey no. I'm only imagine lady ya oh soon you said 3 days now ogusuti ho. I have no choice but to say hey na upia bontenya there is another private washroom. I know what bonten and no dear you pay money and then how the overall a better.
Wow.
This way, not will be catching me say salvation. The bedjaya, a mind blowing. Do you see where I'm coming from with this whole story?
Exactly.
Yeah. We can't take care of that. Not just a private. No to her Jessica. And no need you're okay. I'm saying says this cathedral so nyame cry ya dum ne asiwi a private na who sika na wetimi ehurem ansa na wenya salvation na because I don't get it. Anything government is not even well taken care of. Inti say we sa cathedral we ya is it going to be salvation we sika fon kwa na beji o that is what the wadin to ho sa. Anyway, the clinic I'm talking about, almost see bubu yes, almost see friend almost see more. But Ukora Hospital, it 1 year be my name soon so being one and I may hold 3 me and I said Bibia. Not just say you're terrible. As be Yarina Hospital, and then you will see the real situation of Ghanaians.
Right.
Mekaina when I was in Bishan, I remember me regional. It's not the new hospital now. There was an older hospital, I'm from regional hospital. Now, I think around Christmas time now. So the Knights and Ladies of Marshall.
Yeah.
Now you call like because now hospital for no, omo doctor back Bruni be friend Mami Bruni. I think she was a Catholic, you know. On my end, like we go to the hospital, it was some kind of communal labor.
Yeah, my even for that.
And then you sorry for the brain, other groups, which is Lions Group, Rotary, ne, Omunina court, no Makako be award, surgical award. Say every weekend, na yabani ababi cleaning because we all felt that the hospital was ours. Now, the way Ghana ISC, this is something that I've seen said anytime the so-called capitalists the gap between the rich and the poor, the royal and the peasants are wide. It is to say Ghana no unisika wasimsa. It no sa the feeling of adiwe yeye diano. Any hobby. So Dr. No ye Duma hospital hokrano. He doesn't feel part of the hospital. Because no for about 3 months ni pay my. It as far as he's concerned, he just works at the hospital. He's not part of it. It's in the first now, nurses no more Juma na downtown back across multi branches no mako back no mako clinic. They are not going to do it anymore because the nurse not to feel 4 years after school and son I won year Juma. No, I bet na. For a Juma Bayer 1 year, you turn him 3 months per. He or she feels alienated. I say, on come. So the feeling say, Diano, any hope you. And I don't know, say, young fancy come, ma, motivator detergent, janitors, new way now. And after janitors, no crowd, you tell Mokabe 3 months, or moon made you macra, and a whole can. Like, over and 9. Overbreak. So I think that the feeling of say the country belongs to us, and then I meet some interview. I think was a CB Kitia or boy, no, Kase. There was this guy some time ago. I think Rollins every ne term or be a survey or Ghana. Now Ushawa the survey question here one pay. Who are you? And I said, who do you think you are? Obaya sa survey no Ghana right after Rollins area no. Almost about 80% of Ghanaians will be sure Mubiano. Ubisa say who are you? Omokacho say I'm Ghanaian. Me a Ghanaian. Ubisa say when the answer was say me a Ghanaian. And Okoyo san train 8 years. Kufo we no buy no. no say another interview. I feel Shagana near beside say we are Dania, we see me a Bununi, we see me a Santini, we see me a Unani, we see me a Fancy. So you get the sense of the survey.
Yeah.
I feel that we don't we don't see ourselves as one group. Our identity as Ghanaian era and not to say what the Stephen Ketia said was true, but if you go to Ghana right now, you are going to feel it. Me say me ni obi bon common am si o sa me pack sing. Me ko fa ba all ba ko carry say sa ko am. Ni o ye no is very very noble. But the coming kwa ken ko pe plot bi ni afensi hostel. Na ibi nyeska because Ghana for na abo mo no kra no bia sa go for na abo mo bia. The fact like nobody Ghana no ehia ye bio ubia everybody's for themselves.
Individual, yep.
So because the other forest are no create to be the chenema. Now I'll change it. And I think that's a serious problem. And it takes people like Sir Paul and don't watch you and these charlatans. So they have the airwaves, they talk to people, and they are destroying the country bit by bit. All because of their selfish gain. In terms of Paul, I don't watch you in continue. I know here no more than say ube pina and create diagro. Everybody is safe, everybody is nice, everybody has a smile on their face. Kwesi, about that's what mute you have to unmute yourself.
Resiko.
Minimal camera crime meeting. Let me kick you out and then try and come again. Obana me ama on me too. Because na
we freeze.
We freeze. Yeah. I mean kicking out I'm saying fat we not too heavy.
Well, I'm always serious. Or very because at the same time okay, the good followers.
Oh, I think we should be done with this guy. We shouldn't. Let's not waste the breath. But to all the journalists, you cast a journalist for Ghana, you give the pushback. This is the reason why. Kofobi say, internet cast asem. And I think most of you do a great job. We pray, me now. I have some new favorites. Kofa, I'm not Mr. I know me favorite. They are not my favorite right now. Now I have some new favorites. They are doing a great job, but there are still a lot more. We are very, very unprofessional.
New topic number is the banampo.
I mean, that topic is say bleeding from topic we are.
New topic is the banampo. No movie. No movie. New topic is a nankasa no movie. That two topic may be treated. No nankasa no bon. Nti impakor etumiti chum. Ebi ya papa so ebi ya bono so. Who are you?
Anyway, it's this week and I say to be affected. The chief of the Auma Fia of Anlo and a chief for him.
Yeah.
Of Anlo. Very prominent chief and a big businessman. On the sign owner of Accra House of Food. Na Oyejuma as a member of Council of State. Into Oyejuma for almost about 4 or 3 years. And Oyejuma no Council of State and Yamra. We are Yamau Escasha. It's no say or yen taxes. I was one of the few Ghanaians amateurs or yen taxes at the end of the year. Or yen taxes at the end of the year. You know who say Obi Bonamania say you just can be a good account 300,000. It's only a rich man now, 300 and something thousand I thought accounts. My own Mrs. account.
Namponya where the waitress can be.
Oh, yeah, wait. It's your who said, or Fred the bank and the bank confirms I'm part of Canabano to this cabin. No, to S. Gasha, Jumala, where's Gasha? Oh, S. Gasha, I mean, you should have mentioned here, because at this point in time, and a Juma and me and some Busumi Biani Jam. Can I Juma cry Jam? Kagram is endorsed because me a Juma Musa a part time job. And yet, now me cry me feel say a Juma wow the volunteer say oh yama mine. And whom he has over this as he can. Until there, maybe scan time I will be Papa Bia on family. To be chief. Paramount chief, some more kind. Let's listen. By as a brofo and minyan into no more my fans. You two for Mario.
I'm one to enjoy you.
No, I've been start here, cry. Yeah, you two for no. Why one commercial?
You know, I was filing my tax returns towards the end of last year, and I received tax receipts from the GRA that showed that some deductions were effected from monies paid to me in July that I wasn't aware of. So I decided, wow, let me find out. You know, of course, I was having my own financial because at the time for responsibility. So I thought, wow, this is great news. I've got some money in. But then I decided to find out where the money was coming from. You know, so I first went to my bankers to confirm the money was there. But it was described generally as salary ex gratia, and I didn't know what that meant. Decided to probe and understand where it was coming from. So I found that a chunk of that money was in respect of ex gratia, okay, that was due me, and that was 365,000 Ghana cedis plus. Of course, my joy turned sadness because I knew there was no way I wanted to spend that kind of money. I was very surprised about the sheer quantum of money that I was going to be paid. And I thought that for 4 years work, that in all honesty was part-time work. You know, I did not think that it merited this amount of extra reward after I've enjoyed monthly, you know, salaries. Of course, the other privileges, whether I enjoy them or not, is not here nor there, but they're supposed to be there. You know, some free medical care for those who wanted it and which I didn't enjoy. You know, but I thought the salaries were more than enough. So I decided right and then that there's no way I could spend that money. That money must go back to government. You see, there may be good reason to pay ex gratia, you know, awards or end of service awards to certain categories of government workers, public workers. For example, the parliamentarians may have to leave whatever they were doing to serve the nation for a period. Okay. So if they will no more return to parliament, then maybe they need to give some end of service benefits. How much should be given is subject to, you know, a bit of analysis, okay, that will respect also the situation in our country and the plight of the average Ghanaian. Some people must not be made to look like a different class of people. But coming to my particular case, the Council of State's work is part-time work by mostly retired citizens. Is I'm saying, you know, Council of State work should not take you away from what you already have been doing, okay? And therefore, it's not a case that you need to be compensated at the end of it or when you are like being thrown out of job, you see. So I do not think that the work that I did merited it. But let me assure you, I was one of the most active participants in the Council of State. And I was chairman of the Economy and Special Development Initiatives Committee, which never met without me. Okay. So I was one of the most active participants in our general meetings, and I led the team on the Economy and Special Development Initiatives. But nonetheless, I cannot deny the fact that it was part-time work, it wasn't full-time work, and I think that after 4 years, I deserved a colossal 365,000 Ghana cedis. That's a big man. That's a big amount of money.
You talk about how active you were in the Council of State. Are you surprised in the midst of all the applause, the lone voice criticizing you, saying that you only participated in 16% of the meetings? Are you surprised?
Well, I was shocked that I was very shocked that Mr. Padomochi, of all people, who knew me very, very well, was a frequent visitor to my office many years ago, knew how I work, okay, and always commended the quality of my work. I recall when I was Chamber of Ghana in 2003, about the way they were, determining, interest rates, the effects of which we are still seeing today. He got very interested and tried to host Ghana and I in a national TV debate. Of course, the 2 invitations, Ghana declined. So I did it alone. So he knew me very well. Surprising that he, of all people, and I don't want to go into details, would be the one to, to criticize me. But why am I not surprised? Because he had done something similar before. When I was fighting Ejepa, he granted.
Looking for royalty-free music? Discover Epidemic Sound.
Hey, YouTube
Get
boy,
the safest
I'm
music subscription
right.
And sought to denigrate me even in that interview by saying that I was an employee of Kenneth Furiata. When I drew his attention, he apologized. That no, he was the founder. I said, then why do you present it as if I was an employee of Kenneth Furiata? That is still, Again, when we were having a debate about the referendum that had to be aborted, he again tried to criticize me. He's surprised that he, of all people, when I say he of all people, he will be surprised. He will know why I'm saying I didn't expect that from he of all people. But unfortunately, some people live by their, focus on their stomachs in the kind of things that they do. So, given my recent experience, I would say I'm not too surprised. My surprise would come from, or indeed came from the misrepresentation. You can criticize me. You can criticize my opinions, but don't tell lies. You understand?
He told lies in
the presentation. Don't say, for instance, that Togbe presented himself as coming from Ho to the Council of State and enjoyed transport allowances when you knew it's not true. You knew that by my character, I could never do something like that. I am a resident of Accra. I'm not one of those who pretend not to live in Accra and enjoy government hotel facilities when they're working or enjoy transportation allowances. I'm not that type. He knows. So that part hurts me. And also the suggestion that I was most of the time absent from Council of State meetings.
You attended only 16% of the meetings.
Also hurt me because it's not true. And he knows that it's not true. So that level of dishonesty hurts me. That level of wickedness, that I took an exception to. You can criticize me, you can say.
I think at this point he has, why explaining via Warwick Tennis, I think we can pause it there because I think we do personal beef, Amma, you're welcome.
Thank you. You know, the amazing thing is, since yesterday, I decided to read just a little about this man. And then I didn't finish, and then my brother called him. My big brother was once a district chief executive in Ghana before traveling to Canada. So he does know a whole lot of people.
Right.
So I was, hey, bro, about this Togbe Fede, blah, blah, blah. Then he was, oh my God, he's actually a wealthy man. According to my brother, he's very wealthy.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best businessmen in Ghana. Very
So
successful.
what is wrong if so now my question here is, let's say we don't know this man, let's say he's not even a chief or whatever. The fact that we know he's a business owner with all those wealthy or this riches, return a few portion or maybe a chicken change back, do we have to slash back at him and make a whole big deal out of it? Do we have to do that?
So I think that there are some people that are in the same situation as he is right now, but took the money. And when they realize that he has returned the money, some of them are embarrassed, and you know, and they have strength they can pull. And some of these strengths, unfortunately, you are in general.
So why can't we just, even if it's not a good thing, let's say he wanted to politicize this as they claim it to be. What if we praise him and say, oh, he did the right thing, just to push others to do it? Because not too long ago, this Liberian boy returned money, became a hero. Ghanaians saw it. The taxi driver returned the money, became a hero, which I think the Juju guy wanted to do, but he's ended up backfiring on him. Though. So why can't we just praise him that, oh, he did well, so we can see a few also returning theirs to get that fame that we are claiming, rather than backlashing him? I just don't get it. Is it because they're bonina near penny and pepper painty, sir, papa bana, sir? Say your bonnet cry, if we capitalize on the right side of it, wouldn't that be better? Say your crazy papa yeah, and the sikafoni being so do a better one. And can say you better one. I
mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people praising him. About 90%, if you go online, about 90% of the comments are praising him. But what it does, and I say, as a microphone, that biblical fable now. Jesus, all the blind men and where they live, leprosy people.
Yeah,
leprosy now. Now, kill your munyana. Omunya koya, obia baba akobayan. I think that's what's happening here. A lot of men that are rich, like time, no. If you go on the internet right now and you Google the members that were there from 2016 to 2020 now, most of them were very wealthy, very popular people, big chiefs. For them to all take the money and shush, and for him to return the money, also, now they feel embarrassed because looking at what the man said about giving the money, but they feel maybe they should have done the same, but they didn't because of their greed. And to say they have to make him look bad so that they can look good. So, and the first person they will go to for such a job to be executed will be some of these journalists. Tobe was saying himself. According to people, when Paul Adum Ochi was at law school, he was the guy funding him.
and his wedding.
He funded his school education. I think that's why he was saying Paul to be doing that to him is much more painful.
So and then you said Paul wasn't like this. You made a mention of something. You said
he wasn't like this. When we were growing up, he was like the emerging powerhouse in journalism because he was very fair, and every young guy was listening to him.
You see, that wasn't what it was, that was the Paul without money. Now you are seeing the Paul with money.
Paul with the source of money.
Yeah, now you are saying money can bring everything out of you. Yeah, money will bring the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that is in you. Money will let it come out. Yeah. Once you open your mouth and everybody will know which area you belong to,
I think you're a baby crowd. You're a baby crowd.
Oh yeah, for sure. He does. He will do yes sir, and please.
Yeah,
please,
it's all
please. He get a
humble when
little
it's
bit
poor.
better. Yeah.
Or you just get me a house, buy him a car, give me a little money, everything changes.
Anyway,
Hanson.
Hey,
a whole
Uncle
lot of
Kwame.
people do.
Hey, Sister Ama.
Hello, dear.
That's our
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ghana's can more give you a month for my adding cool.
So go to be a fan of the uncle.
Return.
Mama, you want to finish up?
No, I'm done. Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
awesome.
Bye now.
No problem.
Okay.
Hanson, another
Yeah.
watch it.
Hey, oh, and then I'm a busy crab in Tino.
What Nishi run a opposite name number.
Yeah, now I know you.
And there's some very sad story, Matty, about a very, very good friend that I knew, which is like last year, baby, and I'm a friend. I think he wanted to even move to North Carolina until Bar Raleigh.
Yeah.
No, friends, I joined now crowd and I'm so more shallow. No, so fortunately, the Bar Raleigh back up 2 days, and he has to go to Greensboro. He came to me from back. You ever born come man telling Kabio, my friend now, because of Casamin call, she should be man. Tianano pay me sorry, I'm fan. Oh, he's a business savvy, he's into business. Yeah. I'm saying, Menyan or LinkedIn because or type changing the number.
Yeah.
It's Menyan or LinkedIn. It's me Google the I heard say Menyan LinkedIn. Unia Google ya Fox News. Yes, you'll be shooting.
Oh,
last year. Ghana new. We day in our say.
Oh.
Yes, or your IT guy for point Juma. Not or cheat left and our Uber.
Okay.
Yes, or no. I think around the time because no St. Louis, but I can't I still thought say was just. Into so a mobile left. Or you still left into Wakusi will be so Kofano was a name. And a small boy with 17-year-old kid was shooting.
Oh.
And it's been a year, never heard of it. Mente or baby. And even last week, my friend phone. My friend, not gentleman, be a fan of the phone here. This guy, I know so changing phones, but about 2 numbers there. He always have it. Oh, friend, now, maybe I bear 1 week. Some phone, 1 week later. No, I text you.
Yeah, no check here. So,
and like his picture was there. There was a whole news. Like it came on TV, and I never had. I was so heartbroken.
Oh.
I mean, sorry.
With it. And yeah,
it's a personal issue. I didn't mean to spook you with it. Hanson, them all pass it to Obana. And you. Oh, now.
Yeah, you know.
I'm going to talk see on basic and together for someone else. For that much, put a meeting for crowns or what's that?
Okay.
Into poor account.
And in 2002 or 2003, I think it's 2002, towards the end of 2002, at that time, Togbe Afede was yet to ascend the throne of Agbomefia, and in private life, he was known as Mr. James Akpo, a brilliant investment banker. Databank, at that time, led by Ken Ofori-Atta and Kelly Gajekpo, had organized at the Golden Tulip a debate on inflation, because Togbe had been concerned that the Bank of Ghana was miscalculating the inflation rate and always exaggerating it. And he felt that inflation should be calculated month on month instead of year on year. Investment bankers will understand what I'm saying. So we took a personal interest in the inflation debate. We attended at Golden Tulip. There was a heated exchanges at the event between Toby Afede and the current governor of the central bank, which is Mr. Addison. I was going to say Philip Addison. What's his first name? I forget. But it's Mr. Addison, the governor of the central bank. Yeah. Okay. So they had that confrontation at the Golden Tulip, and then we on Good Evening Ghana hosted Toby Afede to sort of get his side of the story. Listening to him, he spoke with a lot of passion at the event about this inflation thing. So we hosted him on Good Evening Ghana. Next day, we got a call from J.H. Mensah, who was at that time the senior minister. Mr. Mensah was told by people that last night there was a guy on Good Evening Ghana who spoke so brilliantly about the inflation thing that you need to consider. J.H. Mensah then requested for the tape. In those days, and I was going to bring it to the studio, I just forgot. I still have that tape. It's a VHS tape. Today I found it in the library. I was just going to bring it. I forgot. Remind me, Thursday I'll bring it, and you see I've labeled it Inflation Debate, Toby Afede, Good Evening Ghana. I think it's October 2002. So I handed over the tape to J.H. Mensah. At that time, he was senior minister. Then I mentioned to Toby that J.H. Mensah had collected the tape. J.H. Mensah was so impressed with Toby Afede that he sort of shared the information with senior members of government. The decision ended in a decision to appoint Toby Afede to the board of the Bank of Ghana so that he will be able to relate to these matters. And Toby and I spoke about it. It was in Toby's hand that I first saw the green paper. You know, the government appointment, they write it on a green paper. I'd never seen one before. I didn't know how government writes their letters. It was in Toby Afede's hand that I first saw a letter on the green paper. I believe it was signed by Ambassador Dike Osei, who was the secretary to the president, informing Toby Afede that His Excellency the President is delighted to appoint you onto the board of the central bank. Yeah, so that's our history with this program with Toby Afede, great man. Later on, Toby went on to do great things. Asogli plant in terms of IPPs, of course. Accra Hearts of Folk people would like me to mention that Accra Hearts of Folk and Africa World Online. So when we talk about Toby Afede, we are talking about an important guy, and this is the letter that he issued. It reads as follows. We have been to the Council of State and we have found out more information about Toby Afede's role at the Council of State over the last 4 years, and we will share with you. That's why in our flyer we talk about whether there are more substantial perquisites to return to the state if Toby Afede says that he's returning the money. However, let's look at his letter and be fair to the story. This is Toby Afede here, and this is the letter that he issued. It reads as follows. There have been various publications and comments recently on my refund of 365,392.67 paid into my account, and I wish to provide the following clarification. 1. While working on my tax returns towards the end of last year, I received tax receipts from the Council of State Secretariat that indicated that some money was paid into my bank account in July 2021 as ex gratia for my 4-year work as a member of the Council of State. Now, this is the first point Toby Afede makes. He says that he sort of noticed it and it came to him, I believe, as a surprise. If it did, then his advisors and his lawyers did not advise him correctly, because if you go on the Council of State, you will be entitled to ex gratia. It's always going to come. It is provided for in Article 71 of the Republican Constitution. I'll show it to you. And in Article 89, His Excellency the President or any other senior officer is unable to vary it. So if you enter the Council of State, you will receive ex gratia. If you enter Parliament, you will receive ex gratia. It's a matter of fact. Guaranteed to return the money. That's balderdash. That's not the point. Number 2, I applied for and received a statement from my bankers that confirmed that indeed some money was paid into my account. I eventually confirmed from the Council of State Secretariat that the sum of 365 was paid into my account as ex gratia. Okay. Number 3, I did not think the payment was made to trap me. I don't quite understand that, but I don't know what he means by payment was. He didn't think the payment was to trap. Trap. I don't get what is trap. You have worked at the Council of State. You are not the first person to work at the Council of State. You will not be the last. Every member of the Council of State since 1992 has received these payments legitimately. We can't do anything about it because it's provided for by law. It's like the salary that civil servants take. It's like the salary that everybody takes. It's provided by law. Nobody can take it away. So if you are paid that salary and the ex gratia is considered a part of the salary by the law. So if you are paid ex gratia, it's not a trap. It cannot be a trap. Anyway, okay. He said, I do not think the payment was made to me as a trap as is being speculated. I believe it was paid to everybody who served on the Council of State. However, I thought that extra payment was inappropriate for a short, effectively part-time work for which I received a monthly salary and was entitled in other privileges. So I felt very uncomfortable. That is very loaded, isn't it? Paragraph 3 of the legendary Paramount Chief statement is particularly loaded. He says that he thought the extra payment was inappropriate for a short. It's 4 years. I'm not so sure whether that is short. 4 years of service to the Council of State cannot be called short, but he says it's short. Okay. And we might perhaps understand why he says it's short when we get into the details of how many meetings the Honorable Afede attended in the Council of State. Tonight, we have gathered all that information, and the data is here. We're going to share with you how many meetings were held and how many meetings he attended, and whether he was paid for every meeting that he did not attend. We'll get all of those details tonight right here. Okay, so he says it was inappropriate because it was short in effectively part-time work for which he already receives monthly salary and was entitled to other privilege. So the point he's making is that sort of he was being overpaid. That's really what he was saying. That I have been paid monthly salary and other, he calls it other privilege. We'll get into what those other privileges are because those other privileges are substantial, bigger than what he's returning. And that's a matter of fact. It's public record. We're not going to go into all the details about the figures because he's an important person, but we're going to tell you the principle of what he received. Not just him, every Council of State member did. And that's what he calls other privileges. They are substantial. Okay. And he talks about receiving salary. So the point we're making is that if he was occupying a moral high ground, now I served on the NCA board, and when we started serving on the board, allowances was 400 cedis, something like that. Later on, they put it up to 1,000 cedis, something like that. I remember there was one member of the board who didn't want to receive his sitting allowances. When I asked him why, I said, oh, it's not important. He didn't announce to anybody that he doesn't receive sitting allowances. He didn't tell anybody. If you don't want to receive it, you don't want to receive it. It's fine. It's principle. You can decide. But it's not corruption because it is provided for by the law. If it is corruption, then the law is corrupt. And we have been making that point about the superstructure, the constitution. Yesterday, we saw what happened in England. I'll come back to that tomorrow. I'll come back to that soon. It is not corruption. And that's why the political parties who want to take advantage, you didn't want it. You call the Council of State even 10 times. And then if you are telling us, we don't need to know that after weeks of trying, I wanted to take the money to them. I tried and tried and tried. We don't need to know that. Okay. All right. After weeks of trying, I obtained advice on how to refund inappropriate payments. Inappropriate. That is wrong. It is not inappropriate. It is required, guaranteed, and directed by law. It's not inappropriate. Please tell our Paramount Chief, Toby Afede, the distinguished, it is not inappropriate. It is guaranteed by the 1992 Constitution. The one that we did for Rawlings, it is guaranteed by it. So you can't say it's inappropriate and then paint the picture of other people who have collected it as if there are some bad people, there are some corrupt people.
Okay. I think that's where the problem is. Say the fact say go for BJ. I don't know, say inappropriate money to a return. That's where the problem is. The answer, see how we're fresh. You bet your wife drink kakra.
Okay. Of a kwame me say, but deep who ya pa. Men are made me home. Now, me says the government and mammy scanner me pa. When I obey defend, they say, okay, say, men are made me home. Say, no, Sicano, me hear, you me, yeah, okay. You say, we are a brutary and I say, Ghana crown, oh, yeah, you may be part time worker. Now, say, or more, yes, so sharing as a part time worker, no, mostly no, unya profit in it. Unless we are full time, okay. We watch say I don't know. You know, I see crew no more day. And you also kakro no so beti media boano or share you more yeah no. Na or share sika wenya na sisiri e wona adwin mu. Enti media say mo piska e dey aye sewage na wo you know. Enti mo nsan jiska no na mo fan boa o man no. And I will tell no why you suit pampe defend it. Huh? On the dinner home.
Pampe, dear,
Yeah, me na makoye adwuma for obetimi actually say okay, sitting allowance, all those things. But me na minimum adwuma me yeah. Into technically no, me minim say adwuma na me yeah no, sika na too much.
Nyamudia mama na ye, you know.
Nyamudi amame no mani aso. But okay say like other people na we no didn't sabi kwame Paul dede ni nyina na say so obekaya first lady sikasem ne bae no Ghana for the no tum no once a man for bebre return omode okay ebinom return omode ye nim say omoje s gracia no but ye nim how a omo si faso a omoje ene kwan omo faso omo ye saa sikasem no enti we na aba abonten no ebiebie no mani so kire youth no say kwan we lupus na ewu ma ultimate Jesus sika no bi nie enti afei na memfa na say youth no ye ba be how to sa nkofo na omo gigigigi saa sika no bi no eno na omo mpese se bio obeba abonten no abekire mu say okay adwuma no kra no say aban no kra fa na ko one day kra na who deserve as gracia enti say oko 12 months kra na who deserve ene na wa ma ehu say okay sika na modi ama me no ento asomu eti omo agi bibia no afi na ye ba omo so individual abeji sika no te se na ye je first lady ne de no okay enti Paul like odwin hu say Ghana no ye ndru stage bi a memfa na say yetimi di sika echeche basabasa because kura ye bobosia de chichiri kuro no ye ni bi too much sene obeye adwuma 3 months 4 months a ne ya kukuru sika for 4 years sika de amount ono owo ni bibidi enti ni omode ma no a kire se panyi mani aso adwuma me ye no mode ama me mo ama me ka mo ewe ni aka no mo fa ntua ana mo fa nye school nkonwa emfa ma some the pride schools na wo ho no na munja se mode ma just men ko ano oh akoye say the way Paul kasa no wa fa no too personal say em so on na wo se bio em so wa kwaje ne girl kwa untimi nkyere because the way Paul kasa no ho enye journalist adwuma na oye no aso ne no personal issue na o attack no ana say obi ehye chiri say Jack one kan janguma youth no beba yen so say sika na wa return no ene so ye di nyina na say return nti so defend with the constitution no so masa ibetimi agina so e dia chiro emra say enye no kwan so a enti kwame me to me ni de ne papa ne ye no wadi nokre ye oni papa o Ghana o mu betimi ayeden achichiri kuro no but ye kunya bi to say Paul first na oya de pa ba say no am say MPP buy no na onka hu say sabi o party net so no on tena so afebọ ne brebe so na ho no na obehu say no ense no bebre no wa mistake ho so na adwuma twiro na no akotena BBC a kirekire sanse mu we mu
Paul no person chese ono so a member so atase ono so board ya ntino
yes
na ko we be return na chese mu nyina return ana we ha na do no so togwe ono say ono personally no as gracia de no ono nani nyo oye nkrofo na omu speaking against as gracia no ntino why can he be speaking against it and taking it? Also, we are for S. Gracia. Also, we are for S. Gracia. Kwesi, Kawaka say you background if you are now where you don't got touch a crown and was an idiot outside. My name was
Kwesi G. Sakawana. That's a Nigerian movie.
I mean, to me, on me too, crowd. I'm trying to unmute you, but I mean, to me, why not try to wait on me too much?
Yeah. Kwame, sika no de papa no de aba no de me gidi say yeah a lesson for omo aka no. Ese omo de ba because kwan
Because
a mo fa so gi no enye saa kwan no so na mo de ye adwuma no.
Unum say every 4 years we are parliament, either we renew or lose you, OJS Gracia.
Yeah.
4 years we are.
Asebo. Kwame. Sir Paul, it me the constitution no it defend this as gracia na. On sign for constitution no in defend school grana or motim the arsenal. With the constitution, let's say, and Caribbean war, most of the ethnic ase.
That's true.
But near no, OG percentage be over there, like on no, they are okay. Oh, was no constitution, the man whole coin, internet, but constitution now so sign say, won't mean yes, I normal way. Or back or hospital, constitution now sanctuary say, so provide a hospital bed. But overcall ne be new. And we are memphani say, oh no, said you, Nania fear one who say, Sikana, the Nanado, Oko abontin crash or Kojibosiana, Unya Bino. Kakrano almost signed their man and say, or non quan could at least school feeding program, no crown, it's me to be.
Oh, yeah. Plenty.
Oh,
it's me, yeah. Your school back school feeding the whole year.
Oh, and this is it. Now, memphani say, or no, why to watch it. Na ọdịni sika ya no wo issue ọhụ say no enye se nko return me na me de me ho na me se me mpe sika na edo so so fa ho ben
o se o return din mo bi ati I don't know what's the point, because as a return na o make point the entire return
sa
for adam actually say so you know could be na this can go to mo bi ati.
I'm sorry, on no personal issue. On no personal issue because the way
I sure say Parliament for OJS Gracia.
Omuna push.
So go ahead there. They are seven by three. Say you niggas. You cruise or more I don't know. Muti ko kabi my yes I have so.
Oh.
Now about Mount Tiber 30 minutes a 1 hour TV. So upeti my in black.
Paul ne ya na oyi ni nyina to say kwaku anan okay but and then say only radio station and
only radio station
and as say won't nka
only can ho
na ken when was the last time who kwaku anan
hey
why do you leave
on the I see the way
Superman highway
Kwame to be na some no do kakra no kro Ghana ways no kola che yende Ghana igudu ye wo impapa wo Ghana papa no wa bache de still yo impapa wo Ghana on side to you develop Oman Ghana.
You're two good chiefs.
Yeah, Papa Cheshban Papa Yadanasi. Naja Papa or Oman Ghana. Nasha Papa Nijumezo Uzi or Ghana or Grandpa Ghana for Ghana abandoned person account. On and on my Ghana light, half of Ghana. Nijmo Korean. At the same time, so when you ignore was a Benios as no someone light or you die or generate that in a moment. A connection was capa across the focus where none is a nano 100. And then be brave into Papa schedule into so each a Ghana far and check or other Ghana for your generation or see the dada your dancing. But dada your dancing. No, I can done dada and ye. Nti dada anyi ni one oka dada wanyi ni pokro ka dada wanyi ni na so dama dada na na ohwe no wo school dama dada na ne oye na ye fro ozo na car ozo manuma ona na ye o se na skirt no di tinam ozo ye dede wo ga So no wa akɔ ne personal ya. Yɛn binom so yɛbɛtumi yɛ akɔ ne personal. Atasa ɛsɛ papa na papa no sen dɛ wɔ start dama project yi ɔka ne wɔ start project bi ɔsena no kɔtum ma wayɛ ne de ɔbɛbɛtwa akɔhwefa no project ɛsɛ Ejapa
deal no
Ejapa bɛrɛ no ɔka dɛ ɔno ɔngye ntum ma papa ɔbɛgyina do ɔsɔpɛ tugbe ɛnyini ɔsɔ so Canada bill ɔngye ntum no so the same thing na Paul bɛyɛ nti Paul no wayɛ n'adwene dɛ asɛm saa ahwɛ Paul a tete dɛ MPP body asɛm biara obesi wɔ MPP mu ayɛ very critical Paul ɔto nsa forɔ na ɔsɛe asɛm no saa ABAJ ne case be ɔkatena Paul ne studio ma ɔdwidwa asɛm na wɔsɛe asɛm bi ɔbɛyɛ critical wɔ Ghana biara ɛbɛkɔre katena Paul ne show do ma Paul ne sɛe adeko no wɔ Ghana nti Paul wayɛ n'adwuma dɛ ɔno different MPP nti bia wɔatu akɔhwɛ nkwaze ntu no nkɔhwɛ ewu ana Ghana ɛpɛbu ne ti bia wɔatu akɔhwɛ nkwa ntu no nkɔhwɛ ewu ba awosisi etu na akɔhwɛ ewu na megye dzi dɛ Paul so ɔyɛ ne yɛ da hɔ na sɛ bi mpo bɛ rape ne yɛ na ɔbɛka no onyi wɔ megye dzi dɛ Paul so ɔsɔ anapa na nkasa ɔmfa de bɔ sɔsenhyɛ ɔfa ne yɛ ne pants na ɔhyɛ
aba asɛm so yi
nti ɔkɔ bi personal yɛn nso yɛ ɔkɔ ne personal mpako no ɔnkɔ adwuma wabere mpako no ɔkɔ adwuma
Nana. Stay on the issue. Why? Paul panties there. We better discuss later. About the
ɔhyɛ coat bɛte no hɔ de bia I don't know me mu hɔ what dress no ɔhɔ na etu me kebi no asɛm ya ɔdam pampi ayɛ serious ekitoko no wɔ mankɔfo wɔ gitum da ampa ma ɛhin no wayɛ ne ye ɔyɛ dɛ ma ɛhin no sika na ɔdze aba na ɔyɛ bɔn na ɛgye ɔdze sika na ɔdze aba kwame adze bi yɛ yɛ ebi yɛ adze wie ɔso wɔ ne yɛmfa nkyɛn ɔnyɛ hwee yɛmfa nkyɛn waka wie yɛmfa nkyɛn ɔnyɛ hwee ba wasɛ mpɔkoro so kwame ɛyɛ maza dɛ ma nkɔfo kɛ wɔmfa nkyɛn wɔmfa asɛ sisi amu de ɔwɔ wɔ de wɔahu papa no so bɛ dɛ papa no wayɛ ne yie Paul yɛ bia ɔsɛ Paul abantam ɔsene zikanfo ba Paul yi zi ɔbantam a ɛsɛ mo nkɔdo ayɛ dɛ mankyɛ maka asɛm yi ahwe ya office ba no ntumi nzi serious ɔyɛ yɛ o nkɔdo wɔ Ghana nyɛ media ni binom the same thing akɔyɛ n'ano te dɛ bofoti obɛgye no so ɔyɛ ya togbe damala no Ghana pa go tinichi
no
afei ɔwɔ ɛyifɛ n'ano nizin poko
ɔman
hin kɔbna asante ne yɛ fun dɛ ban obɛgye no ɔka the same thing dɛ papa ɔmfa ne nkaatɛmbla ne nkaatɛ
ɔyɛ nana yɛntumi nkɔgyina kɔɔto
ɔman yɛ mo wi no ɔman ɛfɛ na nkotin pɔnfɔ mo nkegyina court
na ɔman hin dɛ ɔka
na ɛnti ya ɔno na ɔstart ansa na dama sorry to say excuse my language ɔno so ɔba abɛka bi ɔman hin na ɔstart dama asɛm asɛm bɛpɛ na wakɔ coffee shop wayɛ fast kaka woso kaka na wadi na asɛm no wasɛ wɔ ɔman Ghana yɛn nyinaa yɛ pɛ Ghana ne yɛyɛ yɛn yɛ tena adokyiro yɛn wɔn a wɔtena Ghana bi apɛ Ghana ne yɛyɛ na sɛ Ghana no kɔ ahokyere mu na sɛ business can support a Yes, but mama support
Hmm.
because to be more of number 9. Until number 9 was one sketch on you. Number 2 for number 3 from one sketch white ash on. Into maybe yabona about that next time MP simple baby. The work is cannot do so one for half more managana. No one mama half. Into buy a fit. Into be a baby. Oh, damages cannot do so behind half one for sure managana. Because make a tina. So why you meeting for woman miskakasi? One meeting, ska was one, or Chinamiska was one. No, Kwame, a discape to be not come to ma. One kind temple connect, but discard to account to ma. And see, the Nakufado, or the shout will be down, or the scale pum pum coffo, ma as no and a couple there, but can to manka, or man. Why there? Why the papa that me pay you do a large and chibuan some watch order? All pentama 9:15 abo, or for 9:45 abo. Then we was close show. Eh?
Coming for my video, you be able by me.
And maybe, sometimes as if we are Malcolm Ban and Premise Mayo Dama video Mazamo because I'm also. Even a Ghana flag, I'm considered it. No, as an African bullfoot in that. Nothing but I am the Kenyan. Kennedy no catch it and then after your bullfoot. You quote Kennedy. And that Morocco then, she say, "Hey, papa, in your manzi, hey, bona, in your manzi." By any duty, yeah, but to win about no, in a pan, yeah, more. Or in a part for more ideas about the young bread or Managana. Nagana and your craboshe. Kwame, what's the one searching out the wa until someone say, what's the corn or one a tough? So what was your compo? One a tough? All your dimple. First, no, would be an element. The one say chip by your door until someone say, no mantas. By meaning, I said a matas. And so why there, Yahoo, yeah, madam. Last time I sister your program. Also in canon, nay, you to have a shower bottle. Bankana one shower bar, no way you cool. In Jama prefer a rubber shetch in the cool, Grammy. Mother body just sent him up a catcher, but no, I'm your dinner to go no one ain't. In Jama prefer a rubber shetch in the cool, because when you cool a biboo, kind of get into why the young shower bar, and so they be you cool. And the send them in Ghana, and you cool view, let's say yes, shower bar, and paying for one for rubber in the bar. Because I hope on Chichi, I hope on cleaning part. Say, Miss Mabe, poor Ghana. Oh no, over the step of Ghana. There's a mesh arrobas. Why do we mention arroba? And the duty happen. Yanni one watch a Yanni because other way the writing, or the writing. And see a Pacasa, America away demonstration, come away, was saying them an hour boy.
Yeah.
Ghana demonstration, you're saying them. They send the message so tight.
That of a Kwame. Who say, Nana, Kasa say, what Dino Hoya say, and send it be or what, and you know. So, I didn't say, no, Nana Udin say, and something you know, Freddie. On my radio station, on for TV station, no, and court, say defamation. Not Paul, no, original, no, church, and saying, no, Medina. You say yes, system may ye must see.
Ghana court now, Chi.
We don't make us I was a pain in coffee.
Ah,
Excellent.
Only be
I mean, to win a Cassade, time they Japan was some Paul Fitch Capanichawa. It's a local Amasamna. Or someone go from Uncle Panicho. To win a second. Why you need to know, okay? Also, after that, my son Paul the city of a Panicho. So you know, ogudu ayɛ daa maa adze bio nti asɛm a yɛde kan wɔn ne kɔkɔɔta for ɔbɛfɛkyi ɔkɔ akedefo ma ɔda ne yɛ ɔbɛkɔ na waka akapakyɛw dɛ yɛsrɛ ɔbaa yɛ ma nna ɔselepe nti fɛkyɛ ma ɔbɛnyam menyɛ bio baa ne wɔagu wɔn nyim ase nti na bibi sɛ dɛ ahonɔfo no amanayɛfo no wɔwɔ he menya nkɔ kaka ase ɔkɔ ahonɔfo mu ɔkɔkɔtwa wɔn hospital a ɔnyɛ ɔmo apɔ ɛna no kyeɛ nti ɔbɛ ne na pɔl so na pɔl na no nkyia
Hey, this is the offer affairs was nigga abaha. Yes,
oh education zega menya nkɔ bɔ a omidie yim ɔkɔtɛ the country ho ɔkɔ ahonɔfo mu kɔtwa wɔn hospital bɛ dɛ hospital nyɛ adwuma bɔ yɛ a na pɔ so da ne nyɛ ahohɔn wɔkabisa yɛ wɔso de wɔatwo no edu nti tobo wɔtɔn wa ebi a yɛ tobo dam wɔntu pɔl edu ana
Now was the video
man bi catch him now awo ɛyɛ anyɛ na ntɔnyɛ nti ankɔpɔ amu anyɛ no kwan mɛ mfa cho ɔyɛ ase yɛ me yɛ wa ase ebi na asɛm kwan mɛ ebi sisa asɛm bezi wa menye mu pass na ɔkam wɔnyanko yɛ kana asɛm yɛ ɔso wɔ shoot no kwan mɛ ɛkɛnya na sɛ ɛhwɛ ya na me meet mu na sɛ mfa papa nkyerɛ wɔ wiase
Very painful. 1 year, 1 year. Did not have a clue.
Nti agye nyinaa dɛ ɛyɛ ɔhene pɔne da meke so ɛyɛ aso folk
Asimo Ghana pa ebe ye kwame
Ghana what try so work corona ni edwa
ye
pefina
on the last like and there say pray bo bibia for once prepare for boy na for once confess we wa so ebi
anyway
because
you know
more na more cause mood to corruption this high normal no right and he says papa no or no like oye you know or started like leadership by example or this canaba because in Yansen be an himself 4 years less than 4 years obia koye 60 years the pension my name koye 4 years no one mama we enti entaso mu monje ne back technically no or patches more or more say be Yansen be a limit say sikana mu tua no nurses for in your mo pay doctors in your mo pay school feeding or modica cathedral no kwano mo pame ho kwano me pame no yi kwa o ha me pame cathedral no wankase nana nkase oni nyame na ebo eye ntutu ho so be see cathedral
ori nyame
na oba abonte no oka che se nya Ghana pro sika na odi bisi na sisi sa 25 no himfo sika na izi.
You mean the 200 million? I know you're Ghana for sika.
In this case, you know, ye na odi intratre na say himfo na no odi intratre omo.
I
think Nana Komiana, one of those MPP spokespeople, no must say Nana Shabo Bia, whether in a personal bowl, a party bowl, and a Ghana for Bobia Beshibia. Mine, now baby, news on the Sikan and Baba.
And then up again, okay. Yeah, good morning, guys.
Sikan or they for
yeah, it's kind of right. You see, now the crap will share girls, no, because I am a family 2000. I say you can say 2000. Now, so there's this line of we used to try say Obabe defending Ayomi. Some say I 80 manifesto nuna manifesto no me omo share bon. Say Ghana for Sikana or Mode a manifesto. If you know, if you say, Washa Bofufrubia, say, and I'm saying manifesto Bona Momo Shen, no Mashayabo.
Sa.
Where the old Yaku Bono was sellable. And I put Yaku was Sky. You get the logic. Yeah. What your manifesto say? Okay, me ba. Me you say. And you see you tias. And tell it in a boot mouth. Cause you tias. Two ballad is Sikana. You don't need. I mean, when the car catcher say Sikana, the bear have a boy.
No.
I know what the catcher so me to chat up and then Sikana you peninsula. Bra. Now, what the only coupon of Japan, and I'm with the moon. And I'll soon be seen now, man. And I'm fine. Now, also, we seen was can't do it to say East level. We are missing the hours, I'm okay with it. Now, your coupon or the bribe. What do bribe? I'm worrying here. Basically, that's what they're saying. See, I coupon the bribe. I mean, I did bribe him, say, we see a sorry than a man. Now, all I go promising, I go and say, overman a bribe. Oh, my origin, no, my origin, not for the bribe, come on, also, when the first
Mamma Bossy Amra. I'm a family.
The kind of by the fire to the Yamaka can have a good job, bread. And I'm gonna put the bit in the money. Also, what is idea? Oh, music around their mamma say, if I never find, I mean, find ye. Me the papa charge and bribe. So it's it's two different things. That is a Ghana. I see you. Mama, what am I? Yama Salim, yes. Salim, me to my million. You went to me and I just say, I said, a Uruguay internet name. I'm fine. And how
Eji Kwame, hey, so they say Accra is you a form. Yunkosi Cathedral, right? Yeah, near Kokai Yasapon, Cathedral. Then you solve that issue that.
Basically, Cathedral's council mind said no Vashem. You soon know Talamunya
because you were a normal do of what said you, and Sunny Yayeli.
That's a to save you and no crap project.
Okay. It is a say, I'm one or can say it's Castle from the that's the one that you
can wallet to answer no account.
Oh, sir, and you're from what
wallet to Mutuna Mutiso. So, and up on the whole trainer to say what bad they are. When you do
any better than a mirror for the boy a boss room.
Some phones in a scanation and sham back pocket.
Yeah, because so ultimately, yes, I do who see cathedral. Now say cathedral no ain't me for the population of the whole greater Accra because in soon to baby say you will no more go move me allocate study say okay the basic school diner emergency be about the says can I then okay. Why I say me say cathedral na more they say okay you see na said you are bomb higher and that's what you because that's the only thing. Ebia no or na yi say you enter obeko ni nchi na yakoye na yi wo hodi a na office or na sa de na bench because at the end of the day your space ni bebre ho you betimi ayeren a hosting no ma bebre enti right now na me fa na say Ghana for ho akire omo no utimi de sa cathedral ni sika ekoye sa normal no ebi ni ti say isu e form wo to kesi ni we non all the yes with ya mom, no be any and Kaukra Cathedral and Kenya Okran and Kenya never was a blog amount. But Ose a sooner mene na si cathedral. Na usi cathedral ni we na sooner kuye na eno no sa no. Why na e kwa soro and why na pot now.
Asem so bad. And then the moment fancy and I think a time last and no mean a time so that. And you know, I say cathedral and I say the baby obesi. You know, she said you're doing say you see canon obesi. The meaning the say 4 years in the NCBI version. She say, I don't know when we are. Yaba na yedi aye library and I say
Kwame, ye nwie. Eno na ebe you know. Omo mo da no pa na eye me ya. Ye nwie, na nwie.
me bomb by go so me na. Yaba ye tim dia ye ebia ye tim dia ye conference center na bibisa. Na ye trust because it's just a waste of everybody. First of all, I think somebody has to be tried. I say it will be a deal with court. For prison for $250,000. Sabokaya.
Yeah.
Yes, car will do you. Car or GMP because invest here.
A boy.
A boy. Yes, see what cause financial loss to the state or could. That's you for 25 billion annual year.
And then I mean, so lawyers now, bar association for no mean who do more what Ghana home movie. I won't say any we are punchy now I could defend no. So normal wing in a with me test loss no. Say, Oshayabo, say, Oberbois, Ghana. Ye be near Juma, a light bill, Beba from a gas bill, a Beba from patrol, Beba from Oba, any in our so. And you know, promise now, Mickey, and say, Edo Port. Say, I don't know, ye, Oshayabo, and I want to end this. And nobody do sometimes, you know, you tested loss, you know, when say Ghana, yeah, any year, but oh, yeah. Could you grant master IEB? Who's IE? Europa or the Europa, yeah. And you himself, at least, oh yeah. Obi Betimia can say yes. I did not Kwame Kana because Sikano a Ghana for Sika, one our own name and put on for share. And you know, who could you sue Ghana and Sika necessary? Actually, was after playing about a blue cheese or some basically. And as was I could watch.
Border. The job for Bumi FNC and I think I try so between Bob breaking internet, Yami next week essential. You know, really be our last one, and I want to say if you're still there, I'll be to my last words quickly. Yes, as well. Na mempona Yami next week na. Yeshia. Do be asked to be over share, mamma taxi, mamma share, one no china. Any days at what was although shall still comment and give a thumbs up to the show. Send a boy or social media and so. It will be asked. Come on, near to us. That's an old we can.
Kwame really enche the chapel altar, right?
How was it?
Yeah, they still fast. Each of our sister mobile journey and fine. Yeah, the Nasi. Yeah, but that's about journey by when two Mambado. Now, the chef of the parkus now. Chief near yes, someone. I have a door on chain. Because it was a connect. Nanny's and I was actually. Yeah, gun and we do. Say, you could down now when I see him and fancy show. And heating soup. Let's say, fame me. Kunobotu. Nsa isi mie Ghana kuna na wate na ase onye adwene bono kwando ibi wo da ye kan n'enyim na otu wa ya so yin ya pe Ghana ni ye Ghana de bia na komando edwuma ye wa abrochi nyina ye wie fie na ye zeboko ka ka nya wo fie mu wu kura mu fo zeboko fie nti ye de bibia la so na bichia me yo na mo Ghana nyina. Thank you.
Now that's not kind of loaded. You're fun, sir. Anyway, Okobo didn't want to move down as a share of it. Now the wife, walk to wife for that.
Oh, I walk to Mrs. now.
But that one,
Dr. Marcus, Barrister George was the first to be here, and shout out to Barrister George. And Shalom, Kwanzaa. Sorry, send away to me, so. Now a friend is saying, David Abu just say on point 11, I think 11:30. Next time for joining. Until Yamia Doma next time. Let's say I think the BR contributed very well to the show. And I NS for soup the Shalom, next time then the show start on our internet until next week, it's goodbye from all of us. From Hanson from the City of Brotherhood, and I was from London Bridge, Cape Coast, and I'm from Charlotte. It was in Shebu. And yeah, bye bye.